Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into a really interesting part of the Old Testament, Exodus, chapters 21 and 22. Now, after the incredible moment of receiving the Ten Commandments at Mount Sinai, the Bible shifts gears. It moves from these broad foundational principles to the nitty-gritty details of how to apply them in everyday life. Think of it like this. The Ten Commandments are the Constitution, and these next chapters are the specific laws and regulations that help a society function justly and compassionately. It's where the rubber meets the road. These chapters are often called the Book of the Covenant, and they lay out a legal framework for the ancient Israelites. What's fascinating is that these aren't just random rules. They're designed to build a community that reflects God's character. They cover everything from personal injury and property rights to social responsibility and justice for the vulnerable. It's a blueprint for a society that values fairness, accountability, and looking out for one another. So, let's jump in and explore what these ancient laws can teach us about justice and community. First up, chapter 21 addresses laws concerning people. It starts with rules about servants. Now, it's crucial to understand this in its historical context. This wasn't the same as the brutal race-based slavery of later history. In the ancient Near East, people often entered servitude to pay off debts. What's remarkable about these laws is the level of protection and rights they afforded servants. There were clear limits on the length of service and provisions for their freedom. For example, a Hebrew servant was to be set free after 6 years and not empty-handed. This was revolutionary for its time, emphasizing that a person's dignity was more important than their debt. The chapter then moves into cases of personal injury, famously including the eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth principle. Today, this phrase sounds harsh, but in its original context, it was a principle of limited and equal justice. It prevented excessive retaliation. Instead of a cycle of escalating revenge, the punishment was meant to fit the crime, no more and no less. It established a standard of proportional justice, ensuring that the penalty wasn't driven by personal vengeance, but by a rule of law that applied to everyone equally. It was a massive step towards a structured legal system and away from chaotic tribal warfare. Now let's turn to chapter 22. This chapter shifts the focus from people to property and social responsibilities. It starts with laws about theft and restitution. Notice the theme here. It's not just about punishment, but about making things right. If someone stole an ox, they weren't just fined. They had to restore what was taken, often multiple times over. This principle of restitution is all about repairing the damage done to the community and restoring the victim. It's a very practical approach to justice that focuses on healing the harm caused. The chapter continues with a variety of laws that show a deep concern for the fabric of society. There are rules about property damage. What happens if your livestock grazes in someone else's field, or if a fire you start gets out of control? Everyone is held accountable for their actions and their impact on their neighbors. This builds a sense of mutual respect and responsibility. The law isn't just about individual rights. It's about how our choices affect the entire community and the importance of living together thoughtfully and carefully. What really stands out in chapter 22, though, is the profound emphasis on social justice and compassion for the vulnerable. There are explicit commands not to mistreat foreigners, widows, or orphans. God states very clearly that He Himself will hear their cry and defend them. This is a powerful statement. It places care for the poor and marginalized right at the heart of the law. There are also laws about lending money, forbidding charging interest to fellow Israelites in need, and showing consideration for the poor, like returning a cloak taken as a pledge before nightfall so they have something to keep them warm. These laws reveal a core truth. A just society isn't just about punishing wrongdoers. It's about actively caring for those on the margins. It's a call to build a community where everyone is treated with dignity and fairness, especially those who are most easily forgotten or exploited. These principles from Exodus 21 and 22, centered on justice, restitution, and compassion, are not just ancient rules. They continue to challenge us today to think about what it means to build a truly fair and caring society. Thanks so much for joining me to explore these powerful chapters. I hope it gave you some food for thought. If you found this interesting or helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care.